charge number 1 on the return journey, and there seems to be a maxim which says that heading back is always quicker than on the way out. Hopefully that is the case. So, on the way back, I've decided to be a bit forthright and a bit more honest about where I'm hoping to go. So, we're here in Dinard, which is the first charger, and it is a slower charger because we're using a Renault garage. But unlike on the way here, we've been lucky enough to visit a place which has some history, and we're not just stuck in a commercial centre, and we get to experience a little bit more of French culture as opposed to just sitting by garages and things like this. So, very lucky. So, charge number 1, Dinard. Charge number 2 will be Avranches, which is another Renault garage, which will be slightly time consuming, but there you go. Charge number 3, hopefully, will be the IKEA in Caen. You know, the one that I slept outside in the lay-by. Beyond that will be Le Havre, which is operated by the supermarket chain Auchan. Beyond that is another supermarket-owned rapid charger in Dieppe. Beyond that, maybe one more rapid charger before we get to the rapid charger in Boulogne, where I showed you the first video, which was so triumphant and full of optimism before the harsh reality of this excursion took its toll. And then there's one last charger at the big supermarket in Calais, where I will be stocking up on all those treats that you can't get over in England, like special chocolate milk and a few beers and maybe 1 or 2 sweets. It's been another long time since I made a video. Again, a big gap, and hopefully it's not too blustery here. So what happened since the last time I spoke, when I spoke with such optimism about the return journey, about how it would be so much easier and it's always much quicker and it'll be a lot more delightful and seeing interesting things, which we have. We went to Avranches, where we saw the General Patton Memorial. We were charging at a Renault dealership there. That was interesting. It was good to see that. See the old Sherman tank and read a little bit of the history of the Battle of Avranches and how that was quite a pinnacle time in the Second World War. You get time to do these things when you are waiting for a charge. So by the time we were heading towards Caen, we were already well behind schedule. Even though we were we were cutting it fairly close to the wire, because I just wanted to get out of that Renault dealership, to be honest. I just didn't want to be sitting there slowly watching the percentage dribble up. It was very disheartening. I wanted to get on to the rapid charger highway. Rapid charger, and that IKEA would have been the first one. Got there an hour after it closed, but thankfully the place was the car park was still open. Cruised on down, plugged it in. Something happened, and then the thing went just crazy. It said circuit breaker, and what I'm guessing is that something I may have done or some inherent fault caused it to blow a fuse. And obviously they don't trust people like me to have like a reset button just to flip the fuse back up. So we were stuffed sitting by a rapid charger at IKEA, wondering what to do. Returning back to the car and having to tell the occupants that the thing I was relying on, with 13 kilometres left on the clock now, had failed. Ordinarily in England I would have called up Ecotricity and said, look, can you remotely reset it? But there was no number on the device, and it was obviously well after hours, so nobody would have been open anyway. Next option was to reluctantly call Renault Assistance. In the UK, if you fail or if you run out of charge, you can call up Renault, and they'll very kindly, because of your coverage, take you to the nearest charger on a flatbed lorry. However, I had assumed this extended to parts of Europe. I hadn't checked it properly. It was completely my fault and something I did very rashly. So I was not covered, and to get a flatbed to take us to the next rapid charger at Le Havre would have been extortion. So I thought much better to spend that money in comfort, and I looked around for for hotels. So we found a couple of hotels nearby, and they said we don't have a car park, or there's a charger nearby but nowhere near us. But we spoke to one who had a secure car park and they had a plug, and we thought we can get there, it's 5 kilometers, it's fine, we'll get there. So we got there, and the plug very kindly was in the kitchen. We had to dangle the wire out of the kitchen window to the car, but still, with piddly few percentages on the clock, we were starting to charge. Had a bit of a greasy burger, a vegetarian burger, and watched a bit of TV. In my eyes, that's a win, that's okay, I can take that. A bit of a slow start this morning, leaving Caen, which has been a problem for us both going there and coming back. And we've just been hitting rapid chargers ever since we went to this Auchan, the supermarket chain that's been very good to us on the way here. We went to their charger in Le Havre, then here in Dieppe. From here, apparently the one in Boulogne, which was the next one we were going to try and aim for, isn't working. So there's a backup, which we're heading to next. And then from there, it's 146 kilometers to Calais, where there is another one. Now, depending on how I feel when I get to the next one, will depend on whether I feel adventurous enough to make that rather long stint without a charge. So this one's going well, that's all I can hope for, and after this one we shall see whether we're going to be doing another long trip or a shorter trip, maybe with a short charge in between, who knows. But still, we're in Dieppe, things are working okay for now, but one charge at a time, that's all you've got to do, one charge at a time. So here I am, back in England, and I just wanted to cover what happened since I spoke to you last, which was at Dieppe at the supermarket Auchan. As I thought, we got a good charge at Dieppe. We then went just about 30 kilometers up the road to another supermarket to get another rapid charge, and I double checked again, and the website I was using, which is one called ChargeMap, which is another community driven charging map. So basically you go there, and if there's a problem, then hopefully you'll report it, which will then help other people. So it's not as up to date as it could be, but that website was still saying that the charger at the Boulogne supermarket was still out of action. So I tried to check on the website of the people who actually run the scheme, and they don't have a website such as Ecotricity, which has a bit more of a live updated, a bit more accurate status of the chargers. And I wasn't one to try and risk travelling all that distance and finding the charger not working. Although it was on the way, I didn't want to sort of deviate from a route. So I looked at it, and we had just the right amount to get us to the Calais supermarket. I had to do some pretty ninja driving, some hiding behind lorries to try and get some of their slipstream, going through all of the back routes that you can imagine. The back roads actually are really useful for an electric car because you've got a lot of cadence, you've got sort of the ups and the downs, and you can make a lot of energy on the regeneration going downhill. And also going through a lot of the villages, you're quite protected from the high winds that we had while we were over there. As soon as you get out on the motorways, then you're really subjected to the conditions, and you can lose miles very quickly there. So the Calais charger was perfect, charged up nicely. We got a few provisions, including my favourite chocolate drink ever, Cacalac. And then come England, we had only 2 chargers, one at Maidstone in Kent, which was an Ecotricity charger at a service station, and then one at the Thurrock near Lakeside, just on the M25. And apparently there is a one at Whittam, but I didn't get to use that because I didn't need to, so I didn't want to get cocky towards the end. But as we're heading down the A12, I was feeling pretty confident that we'll get home in time before midnight, which we did. So yeah, there you go. I'm going to have one more video after this one, just recapping everything and just sort of giving my thoughts. So this is video number 2 of 3. The next video, as I say, is going to show a little bit of other stuff, maybe a bit of dash cam footage of some of the places that we had to drive in order to make this journey, and yeah, give a bit of final thoughts. So thanks very much. See you for that one. Ta-ra for now.